Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Honor with Heather podcast. Today I have a very special guest who is near and dear to my heart, Jocelyn Woodward. Jocelyn Woodward is a seasoned hairstylist with 8 years of experience specializing in custom color, balayage, extensions, and bridal styling. As a traveling artist, Jocelyn brings her signature touch to clients across locations, delivering elevated, personalized looks that reflect both her technical expertise and her creative vision. As an ambassador for authentic beauty concept, Jocelyn aligns her work with clean, mindful beauty. Her passion for wellness and healing also runs deep. She is certified in Reiki Level 2 and integrates a grounded spiritual approach into her client experience. Hence, Therapy by Jocelyn. As a business owner, she is committed to creating a space where beauty and well-being go hand in hand, empowering others to feel confident, radiant, and aligned, inside and out. The great thing about Jocelyn is that she is going to get so vulnerable with us today. She's going to share a little bit about her story, her journey through divorce, and what makes her unique as a stylist. So come along with us. I'm so excited to welcome Jocelyn to the podcast. Hi, Jocelyn. How are you doing today?
I'm so good, Heather. Thanks for having me.
I am so excited to have you. What's great about you and I is I feel like a lot of my friends who've come on the podcast have been like my internet friends that I've never met in person, but you and I actually have.
Yeah,
We met at the BTC show a few years ago in Orlando.
we did. I feel like Canadians always find each other
Yes,
wherever
I
we go.
seem to remember, I think it was Adina, and she was like, Canadians, be
Oh yeah,
friends.
she did actually. I forgot about that. Yeah, she's a cutie.
Um, And, I think what's interesting is that at the time, you and I were both married, and now we are both divorced.
Surprise!
So we've got some like great rich content to get in. But to set it all up, can you paint the picture of us of like what your life and your hair business were like before you got divorced and what your normal used to be back then?
I would say I'm still relatively new to the industry. It was my second career, so kind of go back about 8 years or so ago. I had just finished my apprenticeship and I moved to a new city and I decided to go out on my own. So I decided to do travel hairstylist. I was just building a home where I was going to have my salon. This is right where I feel like I was starting to have my awakening. Have you ever heard that before? I was aligning with my right people. So luckily for me, the people that reached out were like-minded people, and it really helped me kind of just get my name out there. So I'd say it's about 8 years now. Like I didn't even count back, but I'd say it's about 8 years. Starting out fresh like that and aligning myself in the right industry, that's where like my life I feel like really took off, and like I'm so happy to be in the industry and doing the right thing, because it's just like changed everything, all aspects of my life, really.
Yeah, I think we're kind of actually similar. I'm really only in the hair industry. It'll be 10 years in January, so like not that long either. Like I went to
Yeah.
university and stuff before. Now, you kind of started like you were kind of telling me like you had like a bit of a shift because obviously everything changed in your life. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about that? Like when everything started shifting with your home life, your salon, your personal life, and kind of how that change has happened, that awakening.
I just had a conversation with my friend who's a few years younger than me. And so, yeah, when I talked about being 35, obviously, once I stopped doing the travel stylist and was in my own salon and stuff, I feel like you really do start to evolve a lot from 35 on. You just become a little more independent, whether you have kids or not. My kids were becoming more independent. And so my personal home life wasn't really where I wanted it to be, and my partner wasn't growing with me. And so, you know how I always talk about your vibe creates your tribe and stuff. Um, I think having those profound conversations with women really helped me become more confident in my profession, my personal life. And so I'd say that's where it shifted, is like, where do we get to go to a profession where we get to meet different people all the time and give us new ideas that kind of then click for you and make you grow yourself? You know what I mean? Like usually it's just one conversation where you're meeting so many different people in our industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I can really relate because part of the reason why I wanted to like start podcasting is again to connect with more women starting in the hair industry, but like really like I'm like, oh my God, I've got clients and stuff who have these really rich like stories and experiences and truly like we all kind of share in these experiences, like I can really relate to what you're saying.
So I would say once you become a little more confident and you kind of start to know yourself better, that's where like, bigger dreams come and goals come, right? And you need not just in personal life, but you need everyone else to align with that too, you know?
Yeah. And I know I can really relate to you. You're saying like you were kind of feeling in your marriage that you weren't growing in the way in which you wanted to because your partner wasn't there with you.
Yeah, I think like individually, people have to grow, right? And I'm a very spiritual person, and so he wasn't really into that, which is fine. You can have your own belief systems, but yeah, I had these big dreams and goals now. Like I finally was in a profession and I felt smart and good at it. I had great clients, great salon, beautiful kids, beautiful homes. So I was like, who cares if the relationship side isn't like as great? But as I grew, I realized no, you can have it all. You deserve to have it all. And nothing against that person. It's just me individually. I need that person to align with me too, right?
Yeah.
For those goals to be attainable in a
Yeah.
sense.
I think I can 100% relate to that. Like, I
Yeah.
knew that I had big goals and dreams, and I wanted to, start a podcast and own a salon and all these things. And I really needed somebody who was going to be in alignment with that.
And it's neat too because you and I, we would always check in on each other and go, hey, how you doing? But we never really knew that both of us were kind of going through the same thing, but I would see little posts, right? As you become
Yeah.
true to yourself, you're authentic online. I think it's really important. And so I would see stuff you'd post, and I was like, oh, that's weird. I kind of like resonate with that.
Yeah, and
And
same.
yeah, yeah, that's neat. I like that.
So, like post split, you had mentioned to me that you obviously had to like move your salon and completely rebuild your clientele. So, I'm just kind of wondering a little bit about what that looks like and like what the hardest part of that was.
Okay, so I would say like the hardest part I thought at the time was losing those relationships, not seeing those people.
Mm.
It wasn't really the hair. I trusted in the universe, God, whoever your person is. I trusted that I've done it before, so I knew I could build it again. I didn't know how fast it would come. So I wasn't worried about the clients coming. I know they're going to come. They are coming. And so that's been exciting in itself. It's just, it was the relationships. I was like, all of a sudden I'm like, okay, well, I'm moving now. Goodbye. And what's funny is like, I'm still dabbling in the travel stylist ways now. I'm still going back to where I used to live and doing a little bit of the travel styles and seeing those same clients. And what's great about the social aspect of the internet is that they're not gone. You might not see them physically, but they still check in with me. It's funny because clients are they're friends. I used to laugh. I'd be like, "You're my friend, right?" Because I'd be like, "Oh, my friend said the other day too," and I'd be talking to another client, and I was like, "Well, I guess they're my client, but no, they're my friend too."
And they're
So
friends too, yeah.
yeah,
Well, and I'm sure they probably, Karen, are so invested in like, you spend so much time investing
so
in like
much time.
their image and how they feel that like that's often reciprocated with a stylist and client relationship.
Well, exactly. Like, and they kind of like morphed me into who I am, whether they believe it or not. They are invested and they want to see me succeed. They're lifelong friendships for sure.
How far away did you have to move?
3 hours.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
tough.
nice fresh start. It's funny because I did go to school here 20 years ago. I hate saying that because then people are going to be like, 20 years ago? How old is she? But I did, and I met really great connections here, and I still have lots of family here as well. So it's kind of been a very easy transition for me and my boys.
Were there any moments throughout this where you seriously thought about walking away from the hair industry? And if so, what kind of kept you going through?
No, I'm too new to the industry,
Yeah.
and I'm not someone to say this will last forever or, never say never. But I can't see myself ever walking away. It's a tough industry, but I think
Yes.
that again, if I had stayed in that toxic office world, I would not be who I am now. Like, this industry gives you so much growth and inspiration, and like, there's definitely, I don't say forever, but I would say, yeah, I'm in it forever right now.
I
Yeah.
honestly think I will be in it until I retire.
There's so
Absolutely.
many different things you can do too. You know what I
And
mean?
like just the
Like,
relationships and the connections and
yeah,
like yeah, it we're very blessed in a lot of ways.
yes.
But it is like I was chatting actually with Tasha about this last week is like it's a really hard time to break into the hair industry right now.
It is. It's like very saturated, but I would say like the for me, if I was giving any kind of advice to someone, it would be just to be authentic to yourself. There's so much stuff out there, and then I think as a new stylist, you're like, okay, so you do it like that, and okay, now watch the video. If something like pulls to you, and you're like, oh, okay, I like that, try it. But it doesn't mean that's the end all be all. Take little bit. That's what I love about the internet too, is that you get this free education, and if it works for you, it does. But just you're always gonna you're authentic yourself, so you're gonna pull it your own way anyways. You know.
Take what you can, leave what you can't. Now, like when we're talking about your relationships with your clients, I'm just wondering if you can share a moment where somebody like really came through for you when you were going through a hard time.
There's not just one person because they're still pulling through for me. You know what though? I will give a little shout out to Charette. I like seeing people do scary things and standing up for themselves. I would say she does stand out to me, but a lot of people do. I think we're all, managing and trying to be as authentic to ourselves as possible, but it's hard when you're getting like a lot backlash, and when you know yourself, it doesn't matter. The background doesn't matter. So I would say like that gives me confidence. You give me confidence too. Like, you're doing a lot of things. You're like maybe a year or two ahead of things that I have had in my mind that I'd like to do. Like, I'd love to have a podcast for
I'm
sure.
sure you
I
could
love
do
the
it.
connection side of things. Like, this is a nice start for me. So thank you
Yeah,
for having
well, I'm
me.
glad that, I mean, like, I never asked that question and hope that someone says me. So
No,
thank
you
you.
do.
That's very
I'm
kind of
not just saying that. And I love that you're Canadian. And yeah, it's
yeah.
cool.
I'm like, you just want to be American so bad and be like part of the party.
Right. You're like, hey, we're over here too.
Yeah, and I know like you and I have talked about this a lot, like as it's hard to be noticed as a stylist as it is, but then like being like we're just like this northern country to
Yeah.
the States
Hey.
and we're just kind of like bopping around up here.
Yeah.
Um, but I do think like for me, resilience and going through tough times and like pushing
Yeah.
through it and wanting to do better and not giving up, it's so hard. Like even,
Hmm.
loading up all my podcast stuff this morning and being like, oh, is it worth it? Like, does anyone even listen to this? But
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, like to hear you say that, I'm like, even if one person is like, I want to keep going in this
Yes.
industry, then it's worth it to me.
It totally is. Honestly, it just takes one person. I can guarantee, Heather, it's not just one person. Give yourself more credit.
It starts that way. And like that's the thing with the internet, it feels so vast. So
Yes.
it's like you could be anywhere from like 2 views on a video to 20,000 views, and like it's hard not to like see others being successful or what
True.
you deem to be successful and be like, oh wow, like will I
But
ever get to
maybe like a year from now, all of a sudden, how many people watch that? You know what I mean? I think if you're just
that?
being true to yourself and you are coming from like sorry, I'm using the word authentic a lot. It's like, it's true. It's all about authenticity. So if you're speaking from the heart and you're being real, that people just want to see realness, you know?
Yeah, and I think for like anyone who's starting out, and it's funny because you're kind of like perfectly segueing into what I want to talk about, and that's kind of like touching more on that like energy and empowerment. And something that you have said to me a lot when we were preparing for this episode is like your vibe creates your tribe, and like the
Yes.
people that you surround yourself with, and
Yes.
that includes, I think, as a stylist clients. How has this shown up for you in your life?
Oh gosh, like every possible way. Recognizing that you need to stop worrying about what other people think. And I'd be like the queen of being like, I don't care. And then you really know, it's like a knowing inside you when you're finally being true to yourself and people love you for it. And there's gonna be people that don't, but that's okay. Like, we're not all here to just, can you imagine how boring that would be if everyone was like, yes, yes, yes. Like, I think it feels so good to just know yourself and then have fun with it. When those people like start trickling in, you know what I mean? It's like, like it's a community feeling, that connection feeling. It's, yeah, it's happening in all areas of my life. And it's funny, like 3 hours away, I did have some connection here, so word of mouth. But even as I post more authentically online, those clients are coming in, and I was like, oh, you just found me from a reel that I did, and I'm not posting a lot, and I'd like to post more. Because the more you can get yourself out there, they're going to come. But it's fun to know that people see you online and come to you and trust you and let you do your thing.
I always say this to the girls all the time too. I'm like, if you're a cat lady who likes just reading books, like market that to your clients. If you're somebody who likes to go out and party all the time and like you're super social, market that to your clients, because the right people will meet you at the right time for the right reasons.
Yes. Yeah.
What has rebuilding your salon taught you about like energy, boundaries, and the kind of people that you ultimately want around yourself?
Did you say boundaries?
I would. My favorite.
Well, that's a tough one, and I think I am noticing, I shouldn't say it only happens 35 on. I have some young clients that are honestly, like, I think this newer generation is finding themselves sooner in life too. I would say, as a hairstylist, being transparent, I used to undercharge a lot. I think as I become more comfortable with myself, just transparency and not being hurt if that's too much for someone, but not undercharging yourself, right? Like saying, okay, if I'm going to do X, Y, Z, because I put my all in hair. Like, I don't want to say I'm a perfectionist. I feel like that sounds bad, but I will give all my love and effort into making you feel who you are from the inside out. Your appearance, that's obviously what we work with. But as long as you don't, it doesn't affect your boundaries, right? Like, then, because no one feels good in that sense.
I think undercharging is like one of those things that newer stylists actually struggle with a lot. We see it a lot in salon, is like they'll look at the ticket and be like, oh my God, I can't afford that, so I can't charge my client that.
Yeah, or you're starting out and you're like, oh my God, I'm just so thankful. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I have been like that a little bit here because the economy is not great and like life is expensive. So, yes, I need to charge enough, but I'm also like, I also need the client.
I mean, on the flip side, there is that element of like you are building a business, and sometimes to build a business, and like, if I were to pick up and move somewhere else and I was building a business from scratch, I would be doing the same thing as like discounting my services or being like, hey, free blowouts for the month of March or whatever, just to get people in the chair, have them experience what I have to offer, and then shifting.
That's just making me think of something too. As long as you sit with yourself and you're like, okay, I'm okay with giving 5 free blowouts. As long as you make that decision within yourself, then your energy doesn't shift there, and then it's like you're giving it with pride and love, then it's fine. I think when you do it and you're like, oh, I have to give 5 free blowouts this month. Do you know what I mean? I'm big on it. As long as you're doing it and it's good for you, whatever.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love
energy,
giving,
you control it.
right? Who doesn't like giving a good blowout to someone? Like that energy, like that makes a girl feel good.
Absolutely. Have you seen a shift in the way women in your community or even in the hair industry in general show up for each other lately?
Yeah. Women are badass. They are. I would say we're just speaking more our truth. We're being more confident about that. We're not sorry girls as much anymore, and watch out. Like, we're very strong.
I feel like the men know it. Like, I don't know, whenever I talk to my boyfriend about this, he's like, women are incredible. Like, they just do everything, and they have, like, everything in life is so much harder for them. But yet, like, you see women who are owning business, blazing trails, supporting each other, and it really is incredible to see.
But you know what, too, if you want to talk about masculine and feminine energy, like, yes, women are doing amazing things and finally speaking out and, like, doing the hard things and doing it all. But on an energy front, like men can be just as in their feminine or masculine supporting. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be threatening. We can all work together.
That's the beauty of
Yeah.
it. What do you think makes women in the beauty industry, like, and especially hairdressers in particular, so uniquely strong and supportive?
I feel like anyone who sits in my chair, I can see beauty. So I'm really good at connecting with people, and I like having a good consult because you get to know them just in a short period of time. I can in 2 to 5 minutes. And so I think what makes us good, or me in particular good at it, is kind of getting a vibe for who they are and being able to transform that on the outside, but make it realistic, right?
What advice would you give to, like, I think we kind of touched on this a little bit, but like a new stylist or a stylist who's feeling like they're starting over or just like going at it alone right now?
Um, Stay true to yourself. You know the techniques. Don't overthink it. Don't be so nervous. Like, trust yourself. Do try something a little different. Doesn't mean that you're making an error. I try new things out all the time. I might not like it as much. I might love it more from the last time, but that's what helped me. Like, think about it. I literally started a new industry, took my apprenticeship, and 3 months later, I went out on my own. And that actually kind of helped me personally. In a salon, I feel like I would go to the back room. I was about to mix up my toner or whatever, and I'd be like, ooh, I'd ask a senior stylist, I'm like, what do you think? And then, not that that was wrong, but I would go back out and I'd be blow drying, and I was like, I should have did what I thought. So when I was on my own, tying into your question, I would say trust your intuition, trust your gut, because more than likely you're the right person, right? Like you're gonna do it right, or you're gonna know to add a
You'll
little
learn
gold
from
in
it,
the inside. Yeah,
right? Like I think back, like I worked in studio by myself for a little while, and I'm like I didn't have anyone to ask about anything, and
yeah,
like if I did it wrong, then they would just come back and fix it.
yeah. That's true too. I think like professionalism like, that starts with the consult. I always tell people whether I'm doing bridal hair or a color. Listen, I can handle it. If you don't like something, you got to tell me
Yeah,
within reason, right? We've all had
like
those parents
nice.
where they push it a bit, but
Yeah,
for the most part, come in here. I want you to feel your best. You are paying, good money for a service. I want you to feel good.
absolutely. I think, like Jocelyn, honestly, I just find you so inspiring. I feel like your story of strength and
Thank you.
resilience and like just, doing the damn thing is incredible. Looking back on your journey, what are you most proud about of like how you've handled this whole entire chapter?
Um, um, I'm not gonna cry on here.
You can if you want it.
Well, if I do,
I
I do.
probably, I haven't done it yet, but I probably will at some point.
Um, I would say I'm very proud of how I've shown my boys how you can do hard things and not only survive from it, but thrive from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What's one thing that you've learned about yourself that surprised you?
Oh my gosh, so much. I think like in my earlier years, I didn't really feel super smart, to be honest. And so as I found myself and my right people, I realized I'm very smart. I'm very strong. I can do anything. I can do hard things. Hard things come at me all the time.
Yeah.
And I figure out a way, and I know I can do it, and I'm not afraid of it. And I'm just not really afraid of anything. It can be scary, but I know that it will always work out. It really does.
I think it's so relatable because, like, once you've been through a lot of hard times, you're like, okay, come on, life, what do you got? Like, let's go.
Yeah. And then you can also shift into that, oh my, what was me? Like, okay, oh, another thing. And then it's like, no, no, no. It always serves you. It does. Hardships equals growth.
What is next for you, Jocelyn?
What isn't next? What I'm trying to get excited about is like seeing those little things align, and I'm like, here it goes. I'm working out of my home right now, but I definitely would love to travel more. I would like to own my own salon. I'd like to have my own podcast. I want my salon to be not only about hair, I want it to be about connection and women supporting women.
I can see it all for you. I'm like, I think
I can see it.
Your whole brand about like hair being therapy and therapy.
Yeah,
And
it's funny how that
it's
transpired.
so
Yeah.
great. I feel like you got to lean into that.
Yeah.
Where can our listeners find you?
Oh, Therapy by Jocelyn. I do have a website that is being made right now by a really dear friend, and she's definitely the right one to do it. My clients that watch this will laugh. I've been talking about a website for probably 5 years now. But you know what? I really want, when my website comes out, I want it to really represent who I am. It's coming soon, though. I feel it.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. Also love that you're working with like a friend and it's like a female designer and stuff.
Yeah, she's known me since I was 14, so she's very patient. She's like, okay, well, let's start with this.
Yeah, I can relate.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. I'm so happy that we got the chance to chat.
Yeah, thank you, hon.